fellow smart viewers, today I'm doing something quite exceptional because everybody needs to know this, which is me explaining the property land title and documentation. Is very important because investing is one thing, but that assurance and peace of mind is another thing. Today I'm here with one of the top lawyers. He's quite young, he might look quite young, but he's mighty in the industry. Barrister Sam will be explaining everything you need to know about property title and document. Please listen so well and pay attention. Trust me, you need to know this because it's one thing to buy property and another thing to lose property. Trust me, you would love to lose any property. As listen to this, kindly do like, comment, and share this video because you'll be helping your family and friends and fellow investors all over the world as well. Thank you. Watch as we start.
Yes, viewers, you're welcome. So maybe you're wondering, you want to buy a land and then they tell you, oh, it is Excision, oh, it is Gazette, oh, it is Freehold, oh, it is leasehold. What do they mean? First, you need to understand what a title means. What is a title? A title is not chieftaincy title, it is not Obi, it is not Okpala. What it means is that ownership. In law, title means ownership. So what form of ownership do you have? So the land that you have currently built your house, now I want to ask you, what form of ownership is on that land? Perhaps they sold it to you as CFO or as Gazette. Have you checked it? What do these things mean? First of all, when it comes to land ownership in Nigeria, the law that regulates this is the Land Use Act. The Land Use Act was promulgated in 1978. Now, the reason why this law is there is to set out all the land or give it to the governors of each state. So every governor, Governor Sanwo-Olu, I did a particular write-up asking people who owns the land in Lagos. Is it Governor Sanwo-Olu or Monile? Now, that is a question you need to answer. Now, when it comes to law, the land belongs to the governor of each state. Now, the governor is not using it as a family house, to build a family house or a family hospital or a family school. No, he's supposed to hold it in trust for the people of Nigeria. Now, as a citizen of Nigeria or somebody who wants to buy property in Nigeria, you now want to ask, what kind of title can I get in Lagos State? Or what kind of title can I get in Nigeria? First, you need to look at, is this land a committed land? There are some land that you should not buy. Why? Number one, it is committed. The government has actually outlined that this land we want to use it for this particular purpose. It might be for barrack, it might be for school, it might be for a particular thing. So if it's committed, that means the government wants to use it. Now, another one is called global. Global means that the government wants to use it, but they have not specifically said what they want to use it for. So take for example now, the government might be like, okay, this location is for this particular purpose. For global, the government has not said anything, but they have a particular thing in mind, maybe in the future, but they don't have a particular thing they want to use it for. So as a matter of fact, you can still buy, but you need to go back to the government to do a ratification, as it's at that time that government can now release it to you. Now, in the form of releasing it to you, it can be ratification or what we call excision. Excision in medical term means you cut a part of something. So let's say a part of somebody's body, maybe you want to excise a part. So the government will excise, will cut parts of the land of Lagos State or Abia or any state in Nigeria, then they give it to you. Now when they do excision, you are expected to still follow up so that they give you a gazette. A gazette is a publication by the state. Now when they do that publication, they will now outline a number of areas that they have given in thousand, like in Lagos, there are certain areas that have been excised already. Places like, Ikota, places like other places in Lagos, they've given them excision. So what it means is that you can now use it, build it, use it for whatever you want to use it for. Now, I ask you again, what title is on your land? Now, let's move forward. Now, when you now do that, what you need to look at is, okay, the common ones, which is CFO, Certificate of Occupancy. Now, another thing a lot of people don't know is that you need to watch out. When you're buying a land with CFO, CFO simply means that, I told you about all land belonging to the government. Now, CFO is the government now giving you a certificate for occupying that place. Now, what that means is that just like a tenancy agreement shows that you can use that particular portion of the house. Now, a certificate of occupancy is attached to land. What it means is that the governor has given it to you and giving you a certificate in support to show that you can now occupy that particular place. So what that means is that you can now use it for 99 years. Are you surprised? Yes, certificate of occupancy is for 99 years. So if you are buying a land that CFO has title, you must check up how many years. So if take for example for 99 years. So if you are buying a land that has C of O as title, you must check up how many years. So if take for example, yesterday I did a search and that land, the C of O was given 2006. Now you want to check 2006 to 2012, how many years is that? Then you deduct it from 99 years. So that is the number of years that is left for you. So you don't just want to buy C of O and feel that, oh, I have a great title. No, you have to check how many years is remaining in this C of O. So when you check that and you see that, okay, it's fine, and then you need to also check up at the land registry if that C of O is actually genuine. Take note, they are cloned C of O. It looks genuine, it looks okay, but then it is not original. So you need to check. So every C of O comes with a registration number, which is usually like, let's say 46 2007 or 36 2007. So usually like that. So it comes in number, page and volume number. So the first one is the number, the next one is the page, and then the last one, which is usually 4 digits, is called the volume number. So with that, you can proceed to Alausa Ikeja to check, or any land registry in other states, Ogun State and the rest of the state. Now when you have been able to confirm that, then you can now buy. So what that means is that the government has given you certificate to occupy that particular place. So you have a leasehold on that particular land. Next is consent, governor's consent. Perhaps you have seen a particular land and then the title is governor's consent. What does that mean? Now remember, we talked about certificate of occupancy, and I started by telling you that all land in every state belongs to the government now to hold it in trust for the people. Now as a matter of fact, when you buy and they give you C of O, the next thing you need to do is that if you are selling it, the next buyer needs to go to the government to get what we call governor's consent. So let's say Mr. Tayo bought a land for C of O. Yeah, that's C of O. He's selling it to me. If I'm buying, I'm supposed to go back to the government because the C of O will carry his name. It is not my own name. So the C of O will be in his own name. So if you are not conscious enough to go to the land registry to regularize, to get a governor's consent, what it means is that anybody that wants to buy, Mr. Tayo or anybody, can still go ahead to sell it to another person. So what you need to do is to go do a governor's consent. Don't just buy C of O. I hear a lot of people, they just get a C of O and they feel, oh, I've bought a good title. No, you've not bought a good title if you have not done governor's consent. So if you buy a land with C of O from an estate, a credible company, what you need to do is that get the number of the C of O, go to lands, get your title document, the deed of assignment and every other document. Then you go to lands, you register it. A land with C of O from an estate, a credible company, what you need to do is that get the number of the C of O, go to lands, get your title document, the deed of assignment and every other document. Then you go to lands, you register it. So there's what we call, at the back of the deed of assignment, I don't know if you have seen it, you see what we call endorsement of governor. So you see that the governor has consented to this transaction. So what that means is that the governor has seen it and he has given his approval. Then you have what we call governor's consent. Now don't forget what I said concerning C of O. You need to check the number of years that is yet to elapse. Very important. Now the last one I'll be talking about is freehold. It's not common, but it's a land that government is not interested in at that particular point. And lands like lands in Ekpe, Lagos State, is freehold because government is not interested in it. Government is not trying to do any project on the land. So when you buy that too, you need to still proceed. Of course, first of all, you get your deed of assignment, you do your survey, you take it to lands, and then try to also upgrade to leasehold. Leasehold means that now you want to process your certificate of occupancy.
Usually say to whom much is given, much is expected. I believe you've been getting value for everything you've been seeing. Trust me, you are going to be learning awesomely well. Now you've been able to see the basic title of properties here in Lagos. The next thing we're doing right now is for you to know the documentation, because it's important for you to also know that documentation is even also more important than even the title of the document. And now with this, we'll go into that. If you've not subscribed or share this video to anybody, please do that, because you'll be encouraging me and the wonderful barrister behind me, Barrister Samuel. Trust me, I said it's small but mighty, but I can also say he's here to give you value. Thank you.
We've talked about title, which is ownership. Now, how do you show your ownership? In law, anytime you buy a land, very important, make sure it is documented. You cannot get to court and say he sold land to me by word of mouth. Oral evidence cannot establish purchase of land. Very important. Now, some people have gone, okay, some people have tried, they've gotten purchase receipts, which is good, but then I will explain further later. A purchase receipt is to show that Mr. A has sold land to you for a particular amount of money, and then they might even state the location and all of that. Now, this is good, but it is not sufficient. It is not enough to prove that you are now the new owner of the land. Now, what you need to do is to upgrade to what we call a deed of assignment. Now, when you do a deed of assignment now shows that you have, the person, Mr. A, has transferred his ownership to you. Ownership is very important. You know, if somebody wants to take something from you, you quickly want to say, oh, I'm the owner. But then, do you have the title document showing that you are the owner? A lot of people get receipt and they go to sleep. No, get a deed of assignment. A deed of assignment means that somebody has transferred. Assignment means to transfer. So he has transferred the title to you. So in the eye of the law, you have that particular land. Now, what do we mean by this? For some people, maybe what you have gotten is only a contract of sale. It is good. Why? Because a lot of estates or companies give you a contract of sale to show, to evidence that, okay, we have sold this land to you and you have paid this down payment or this deposit, and you have to complete the payment at a particular period of time. Now, this is good. However, some people don't get a contract of sale. Why is a contract of sale important? Take, for example, you bought the land from Mr. Udo in 2017. In 2019, Mr. Udo is dead. How do you prove that there is a transaction, a land transaction that you have initiated with Mr. Udo? There's no way to prove that. So what you need is a contract of sale. A contract of sale will now outline that, okay, there is this land, this also place, this is the area, this is the address, this is the, if there's a survey already, it will capture all of that to show that Mr. Udo has agreed to sell this land to you, and this is your deposit, which will be shown, and then his signature and all of that will be captured. So what that means is that if Mr. Udo dies today, you can sue his family, you can sue his executors or his administrators or anybody that is in charge of his estate, and that helps you a lot. So please take note. Contract of sale is very important, because if the seller dies, you have lost your money. There's no way you can prove that you had a transaction about that land. So Mr. Udo has agreed to sell this land to you, and this is your deposit, which will be shown, and then his signature and all of that will be captured. So what that means is that if Mr. Udo dies today, you can sue his family, you can sue his executors or his administrators or anybody that is in charge of his estate, and that helps you a lot. So please take note. Contract of sale is very important, because if the seller dies, you have lost your money. There's no way you can prove that you had a transaction about that land. So if you have not gotten the contract of sale, once you have finished making payment, then you proceed to get a deed of assignment, which shows that that land has been transferred to you. Now, when you do that, I usually tell people that there are two very important documents when it comes to land ownership: a deed of assignment and survey plan. Now, the deed of assignment shows that the land has been transferred to you. The survey plan shows the portion that has been transferred to you. Because the deed of assignment cannot prove the portion. We can only put it there that, okay, became these and all of that, but that's not enough proof. The survey plan now shows that, okay, from this area to this area is now yours, and then you take it to the land registry to do proper registration, and then we say, okay, you have a registered survey, and then you have what? A deed of assignment. These two documents are very, very powerful. So if you have not gotten that on your land, make sure you get that today.
You've heard everything into here, but let me also tell you, let me key this into it so that you understand. Please, when you buy a property, you are meant to do the checks twice: before you buy the land and after you get allocated, because you can actually be shown the right document and you can actually be allocated on that document. So it's important to do that 2 times. You do your checks before you buy and after you get allocated. Do like, do share, and tell your family and friends that you've actually watched the value and share with them today more today. Thanks for looking at this video. I really appreciate it. God bless you at the top.